This is the brand new BMW M3. Being an M3, it obviously has a lot to live up to, especially due to the car's legacy. But I think it could be argued that the brand new BMW M3 is practically a four-door R35 GTR. With its diabolical S58 inline-6 turbo engine, these things have absolutely dominated in the aftermarket as well. So the days of you maybe having to get rid of that two-door sports car and going to a four-door isn't so bad anymore. It is so shockingly fast for a four-door sedan. When you go back to normal driving, you ask yourself, what just happened? Oh, there goes my GoPro. So out of the entire luxury car market today, for that perfect four-door daily driver, is the new M3 Competition really that ferocious, but also calm enough to drive every day? Let's go for a drive and find out. Hello everybody, and welcome to the brand spanking new BMW M3. So for context, I have a ton of seat time in the last generation M3 and M4 and M2. This generation, I've driven the new M5 and the new M4. So this will be a little bit of a comparison of everything, according to my brain anyway. Right off the bat, does this car deserve being called an M3? Yes, the M3 is barbarically fast for a four-door sedan. What we have here is the S58 inline-6 engine. The S58 has already proven to be an absolute animal, especially in the aftermarket. In fact, it's so fast that driving this car at the speed limit is excruciating. It truly feels like you're an animal locked in a cage that can't use its full potential when you're driving the speed limit. And this is the BMW M3 Competition. And the Competition has a little bit more goodies, has a little bit more horsepower. It has these really gnarly seats that you see them sitting in with full carbon fiber backing. What's really neat about these seats is that they also have a button to squeeze you in place if you'd like. So if I'm driving on the highway and stuff, I actually make the seat, I guess you could say, wider, quote unquote, but when I'm, driving some spirited back roads or on track, I can tighten the seat to my liking for my skinny little body. So it's a really neat feature, and I really like that. They look like they just be, like carbon buckets, but they're heated seats as well, which is very nice. Steering wheel is suede, feels really nice in your hands. 9 and 3 position feels great. We have the 8-speed auto in this car. The Competition does not have the manual. The normal BMW M3, or I guess you could say the base model trim, has the manual transmission. Now, this is the rear-wheel drive one, not the X-Drive, which can be all-wheel drive. I know this is a very weird comparison, but I would honestly say it's like driving a four-door R35 GTR. You get the feeling in the cheeks right here, right under your eyes, and it starts to pull on it the more it spools up. It's pretty phenomenal. It's crazy to think that back in the day, when I think of, say, E36 M3s or E46 M3s, phenomenal cars, right? But I wouldn't call them really fast. They were just kind of like an all-around package. They handled great, they were nimble, the chassis was wonderful, but I would not call them really fast cars. This is a very fast car. In today's economy and with car prices, you kind of expect this out of a premium sports car. This is not a cheap car. The comp, I believe, off the top of my head, starts at $77,000. 77 grand. That is a ton of money. Right off the rip, you have all these buttons next to the shifter, then you have the knob to control the infotainment system, but this is also a touchscreen, so you can use the touchscreen or the knob. Woo! If I'm making that face, it's a good thing. I'm like, because the corner exit is what's really impressive about this thing. Slow in, fast out. This thing is a rocket ship on corner exit. there goes my GoPro. Oh, yeah, that almost never happens, but made for a cool shot, I guess. So that was with traction control off. And you'll notice even with that, the transmission did a very good job accounting for the spinning. And also the chassis spun very straight. I knew exactly what was going to happen. Dude, you run out of room so quick in this thing. I just think that BMW has had such an interesting kind of transition into the modern world. I think they're kind of in a weird phase between E46 to now. The F80, M4, and M3, those are not F80s, excuse me, but that platform era, those were great cars, and I forgot how long they made them. They made them a very long time. I think it was time for a change, and these do drive with, I would say, a little bit more character. One thing I really like is when you're in sport mode, you actually have your tire pressures and your tire temperatures individually, which is really neat. Now, the M4 and the M3, when I drove those, I always felt like there was a little bit of a difference, right? There was definitely a feeling that they were subtly different. You know, the M4 being the two-door coupe and this being the four-door. But after driving the M4, I actually find that the M3 and the M4 feel even closer than ever, which I find is a good thing. Having a back seat with two doors back there is incredibly useful and way more practical, even though I'm more of a two-door kind of person. The turn-in is actually really great. It's very easy to drive this car fast, which I can see a lot of people getting carried away very quickly in this car. And unlike a lot of modern cars nowadays, you can turn pretty much all the nannies off. So if you want to drift this thing or be dumb in it on track, you can. And that is a feature that used to be a no-brainer to me in a rear-wheel drive sports car, but nowadays, it's not always the case. The competition package, you know, it has the better brakes and everything like that. It's like $5,000 more, and that is a lot of money, obviously, but I think it might be worth it. This is coming from a cheap boy on the tuner car side, so because just the brakes alone. All right, speechless. Oof. Very harmonic sound, very pretty sound. It's not raspy in any way. I found the F80 M3, if you put the wrong exhaust on it, I thought it sounded absolutely terrible, to be honest with you. Effortless. Absolutely effortless. I will say though, when I was in Europe recently, and I saw the front grille with the Euro plate, it did kind of break up that long grille for sure. It definitely broke up the look a little bit and helped it, in my opinion. Obviously, elephant in the room with these cars is the styling. I actually like every single thing about this car's styling except the grille. I like the headlights, I like the taillights, I like the bumpers, I like the lips in the back, I like the ducktails, I like the front lips, I love all that stuff. I don't know how it would feel taking a really long road trip, and not the car itself, the car drives very smooth and it's wonderful, but the seats, I'm not sure how long I would be able to not have a bad back. But as of right now, I've driven it about, say, 2 to 3 hours today, and it hasn't been a problem. Also, one thing you'll also notice about modern BMWs are these colors. They have a lot of really cool colors nowadays. This is not a wrapped car. This like matte finish we got going on, or semi-gloss, is a factory paint color, which is not something I expected. The new BMW M3 Competition was truly shocking. In the past month, I've had the opportunity to drive a lot of different cars, and it's been very difficult to not compare basically everything to the new M3. And what that tells me is that this four-door German sedan made quite the impression. Guys, what do you think about the brand new BMW M3? Do you like it? Do you not like it? Do you even like German cars? Put it down in the comment section below. And on that note, I typically upload on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays, and I will see you guys next time. Take it easy. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye.